Hi everyone, welcome to Push Your Luck video. My name is Eric and today we'll be looking at Birdie Fight. Now Birdie Fight is a 2016 release. It's by a Japanese designer. I think the name is Yo. Alright, it plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 20 minutes or so to play. This is a copy from Homosapiens Lab, which is a Taiwanese game publisher. And so in the game, what players are doing is that they are laying down cards. If you think about games like Arboretum, it's very similar to that. What you're doing is that you're laying down cards of different types of birds. There's 4 different types of birds, and the birds range from numbers 1 to 7. So you're laying down the cards, and you're laying down in such a way that at the end of the whole game, when all the players have played their cards, alright, the card that you have left in your hand is your scoring bird, and you look at the board, and you're trying to score as many points as you can, based on how you lay the cards. Alright, and that's it. It's simple to explain, easy to understand, but surprisingly has a lot of things going on for it that you need to think about, you need to plan ahead, and it's the kind of thinkiness that's very crunchy and very like you're in a lot of dilemma, but it's very nice type of crunchiness and very nice type of dilemma that you find yourself in. So let's take a look at the game components, how to play the game, and also my final thoughts about the game. Now I just want to take a moment here to thank my sponsors. Alright, Fun Again Games. Push Your Luck video is an affiliate of Fun Again Games. So if you go to funagaingames.com and when you check out after you buy any games there, if you put my code PULV, that's Papa Umbrella Lima Virgo. Alright, in the affiliate code section, a little bit of kickback comes back to me as well. So thank you very much if you do that. And also, I'd like to thank Tasty Minstrel Games for sponsorship. Tasty Minstrel now has a podcast and is run by my very good friend Lance, the Undead Viking. So if you want to take a listen to what Tasty Minstrel has to say about the board game industry, about the games they're releasing, do check out their podcast as well. On with the review. Alright, so this is the game components you get from Birdie Fight. Alright, first you have these chits, alright, they will give you a point value. This is what you're scoring for. The most points at the end of the game will win the game. There are also a whole bunch of cards, which are the bird cards. There are 4 different colors, alright, green, red, blue, and white. And there's also numbers from 1 to 7, and there's only 1 card of each. The artwork is really nice. I like the way that they drew the birds, very nice. Very makes you feel like you're playing a game that's similar to Arboretum. Arboretum has trees and this is birds. Alright, so depending on the number of players, you shuffle this and deal a number of cards to each players, and then you randomly deal 1 card out in the middle. Alright, so this will be the starting card. Now during the game, each player, what they're trying to do is they have to play a card from their hand, and they need to place it on adjacent to a card that's already existing on the board. Imagine that this is a 5x5 grid. Alright, the table is a bit small. I apologize for that, but there will be 5 cards by 5 cards on the grid itself. Alright, and so each turn, players will need to play a card from their hand and place it onto the board. And we keep doing this until all players have placed most of the cards from their hand onto the board. Each player will always have 1 card left in their hand, and that card in their hand will determine the color that they are scoring on. So let's say I have this card left in my hand, I'll be scoring on all the red birds in this round. Alright, so I'm going to show you how the scoring works. Alright, so I'm just randomly dealing out some cards here, just to show you how this will work. Okay? So let's say this is the end of the game. Alright, so for this, this will be like that. Alright, so for this row, alright, whoever has the majority will win 7 points here. Now how do you count majority? First, you look at each color and you sum up the total of each color. So in this case, the green, that's 11. Alright, red is 5, white is 5, and red is 8. So it's here. Alright, and then so in this case, green has the most, 11, so green will win the 7 points. Alright, now the interesting thing about this is there's a majority. There is a case where if you have same number in the top, alright, if there's the tie for the top, then the type will be eliminated. Alright, so in this case, let me try to show you an example here. Alright, so for this row, for example, All right, the white is 5 total. White bird total is 5. All right, the green is 3, the red is 2, and the blue is 5. But because the blue total is 5, white total is 5, so they will eliminate each other. So in this case, green, which is the next highest, is 3. 3 will win the game. Will win this round. Sorry, not will win this row for 5 points. All right. So again, usually a row or column, and you do it for the column as well. Usually for row or column, the sum total color who has the highest will win that row. But if there's a tie, then they'll be eliminated, and the next highest total will win the row for points. And that's it. Whoever has the most points will win the game. You play 2 rounds, all right, and then the sum total of that, whoever has the most points will win the game. The solo version is similar to that as well, but you're playing by yourself, all right. You're laying all the cards by yourself, and you're also then choosing one of the cards to be your bird of color. Then when you're scoring, all right, you note down the same thing, but the color that you have will, the sum total of the score that you have for that color, you'll minus off the sum total of all the other colors, and then you see how well you've done. So that's a bit more trickier to play because you're playing against all the other colors, which is similar to the normal game itself. All right, but because you are not just being the highest, you need to deduct from your point all the other points that the other colors made, and that will be your final value. So that is a bit more difficult to get a high overall value than the multiplayer game itself. But they both will play similar and fun. All right, so let's take a look at my final thoughts about the game. So what I think of it, I really like it a lot. The multiplayer part of it is very interesting because whatever card you lay down has a lot of repercussions later on. Whether it determines what kind of card, what kind of bird card you're keeping at the end to score points, or it also determines what the other players are trying to keep at the end, because there's only 25 cards that you're placing down into the board. So every card has a very big impact on subsequent turns and what the players are trying to do later on. So every time when it comes back to you, you have to think a lot more steps ahead, and you can't really plan ahead. You can roughly plan such that you kind of aim for a particular bird to keep, but every time, since the board state kind of changes depending on the other players, so when it comes back to you again, you will have to rethink some of your priorities again and then decide what you want to do. Alright, but this rethinking part may take out a bit of AP, but it is really fun. It is the type of AP that I kind of like. Alright, it doesn't take too long to think about it, because after all, it's only 25 cards and it's very simple. You're choosing a row or column to place a card depending on the number of points you actually want to win. So it is not too AP that it takes up too much time, but I think it's just the right amount. And the solo game also plays pretty well as well, because in a solo game you're fighting against everybody else, and so it's very similar to the multiplayer game, and the solo player game works well. So for me, Birdie Fight is recommended. All right, do try to find a copy if you can, and very much thanks to Homosapiens Games for this review copy. And thank you so much for watching. As usual, please like and subscribe to the channel. All right, and when you subscribe to the channel, it helps me a lot to bring up the recognition and the identity of the YouTube channel as well. Also, please like the video. Also, you can leave your comments and your suggestions and your feedback as well in this in this video at the comment section below. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Bye.